Joining us now is former Chief Constable of Greater Manchester, and that is Sir Peter Fahy. Hello to you, Sir Peter. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Tough time for the communities of Liverpool. How do you start to keep a city together when something like this happens?
Well, in the aftermath of an incredible, awful tragedy like this, people do come together. And, you know, Serena Kennedy, the Chief Constable, has made it clear that she needs the support of the whole community. But it's not just about arresting this particular individual who committed this crime. It is about the criminal network behind them. It's whoever paid for this, it's whoever organised it, whoever transported the gunman to the scene. You know, it is about a whole criminal outfit there. So it's not just about this individual horrendous crime. It is about the fact that often communities in some of our cities have to live with this sort of organised criminality around them, subverting the normal system, operating things like the drugs trade, the market in stolen goods, illegal money lending, whatever it might be. You know, and it needs all the agencies and local people working together long term to undermine this.
You speaking there about the Chief Constable, she has asked criminals in the area to examine their consciences and cooperate with the police. From your experience, do they?
It's very rare, really. You know, this at the end of the day will be down to either a lucky piece of information from the public, really good analysis of things like mobile phone data, forensics. Sometimes another criminal gang will see it to their advantage, you know, in a way to pass, forward information which might lead to the disruption of another criminal gang. So, you know, this may be cleared very quickly. It may take many, many months of very detailed investigation. But as I say, it is about the long-term aim, the long-term effort to undermine these criminal gangs, as I say, which cause misery to lots of communities. Those of us who live in nicer areas don't feel it. But the fact is, the market in stolen goods, when cars are stolen, when things like watches are stolen, and some of the awful muggings we're seeing in places in London, there are criminal gangs behind this. And what we saw with this awful murder is the fact, just the sheer, the callousness and the viciousness of some of these gangs who are prepared to use horrendous level of violence. That's how they maintain their power and their intimidation. Sometimes innocent members of the public get caught up in that, but often when criminal members suffer the most horrendous injuries, they refuse to cooperate with the police or tell the police what's happened because either they want to exert their own revenge or just out of fear.
Yeah, what about this character who's in hospital at the moment? His mates came, picked him up, basically walked over a dying child in order to pick him up and take him to hospital. The police will want to talk to him as a matter of some urgency.
Absolutely, and we'll want to talk to the people around him and absolutely investigate the whole background exhaustively about this. The police may well have a very good idea about, you know, who's behind this, what is the particular feud, what's the particular dispute that this is being played out within. But the fact is, you know, they have to get it to the criminal standard, to achieve a conviction and for any arrest to be, you know, to ultimately lead to a person being behind bars. So absolutely, they're going to be investigating every different aspect of that. They're going to be relying on CCTV in the area. But ultimately, as I say, it's about long-term intelligence gathering, working with people like the National Crime Agency and the Regional Organised Crime Unit and other forces, but crucially other agencies in the city of Liverpool to share information, to share powers, as I say, not only to arrest this individual, but to, you know, take apart the whole criminal network behind them.
Olivia's mum will never ever get over what happened in the hallway of her home. Olivia's siblings will never get over it. But how do the police officers in Liverpool, the police service in Liverpool, start to make other neighbours feel safe in their own homes?
Well, it's through, you know, really good local neighbourhood policing. It's been there visible in the local community. It's about the local people having confidence in the ability of their police force to take this apart. And sadly, Merseyside Police, Greater Manchester Police, West Midlands Police are used to this ongoing criminal activity and working with the local people and trying to reassure them. But ultimately, you know, people will only have confidence if they see these criminal outfits being taken apart and their power undermined. And local people have a role to play in this, but it often can be very, very difficult. People who are going through really difficult times are then approached by people like illegal money lenders who say that they're going to help them. but actually just horrendously exploit them. Young people are drawn into the criminal outfits, into things like the county lines networks, and exploited. Young people who possibly could do well at school are attracted, thinking that they could be the next Mr. Big, they could be, the next person driving around in a big BMW. And so these criminal outfits, they create an alternative value system, and sometimes almost try and achieve an alternative criminal justice system. And that's how deep-seated some of this is. And why, I know all the agencies are working together, and sadly, lots of police forces are extremely experienced in dealing with this. And they'll be making every effort now today to not only get these people arrested, but at the same time try and reassure local people and making sure local people have confidence, in the system, in the criminal justice system, in the core agencies, and don't feel that they have to rely on criminal outfits, to help them get through life.
Okay, so Peter, thank you.